Hello and welcome back to another episode of Full of Flavour, Cooking with Adam. Today we are going to make a traditional Italian pizza dough. This is not for the impatient because this will take 24 hours, but believe me, it's worth the wait. All we're going to need is just 1 kilo of baker's flour. You can substitute it with plain flour if you can't find that. Just 30 grams of salt, 3 grams of fresh yeast. Now if you can't find fresh yeast, you can substitute it again for powdered dried yeast. Just use the same weight. And 600 mils of water. So basically we're going to start the dough off. We're just going to add the yeast to the water and just mix that in. Let's grab a spoon. Just make sure that's combined really well. I'm just going to simply add the salt to the flour, combine that, simple as that, and then just simply add your yeast and water mix to the flour. Now this is going to be quite sticky, but don't worry about it, it'll all come off your fingers in the end. Just going to make sure that gets all combined. Just mixed in. Now all the way through this process, this dough will be a very soft dough. Don't be tempted to throw more flour in, you're just going to make it a heavier mix and you're not going to get the light, fluffy, Romana style pizza that we're looking for. Okay, so once that's combined, just going to get it onto your board. Scrape all that off your fingers. Any excess flour that's left in the bowl, just pop it in. Ew! There, and then we're just going to work this. Just going to knead this, stretch that gluten. It's going to stick to your board, but as you knead, you'll see it all start to come away and all combine nicely. Just keep stretching it. It's really important you do this for about 10 to 15 minutes, just to work all that gluten, stretch all that gluten. I'll show you how to tell when it's ready, just in a moment. Just keep folding it back. Good workout for this coronavirus lockdown. And like I say, it takes 24 hours, but who hasn't got the time? You're all sitting at home, watching the bloody TV. Get off your bums, start kneading some dough. Just keep stretching it. So yeah, now as it's coming together, it's not sticking to my board at all. You can test this just seeing how stretchy it is. If it breaks apart like that, we're still not ready. Just got to keep working it. See, this is almost what we're looking for. When it just stretches, doesn't break a hole in the centre. See, there you go. So we're going to go for another 5 minutes. See, look at that. Got a real good stretch on it. It's not tearing any holes. Pretty much ready to go. Okay, so I'm just going to bring that back into a ball. Turn it over. Just get that into a ball.
Don't try this yourself. It's extremely dangerous.
Beautiful. Just going to take a little drop of olive oil and pop that in your bowl. Give it a wishy-washy. I'm going to pop that in the bowl. I'm just going to cover that. I'm just going to leave that for about an hour, just to prove, and then we'll get into the next stage. If you're using dry yeast, you're only going to need to do it for about half an hour. It activates a lot quicker. So I'm just going to leave this somewhere warm as possible, for an hour. Okay, so I've had this proving for an hour. Just going to take the wrap off. Just going to take the dough out. Beautiful. I'm just going to fold the edges into the centre. You can see the difference in the texture of that dough. It's just beautiful. It's just stretchy. Anyway, we'll bring that back into a ball. Just tuck your palms of your hands underneath. So my tray is going to hold 4 balls. This actual piece of dough is going to make about 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 4 in my tray. I'm just going to whack 2 on a plate. And after 24 hours, once they've fermented in the fridge and they're ready to go, I'm going to pop the 2 balls in the freezer, and I'm going to use those next time. So I'm just going to cut this dough 6 pieces. So I'm just going to portion up this dough, and it's going to be about 230 grams per ball. It doesn't have to be exact. Okay, beautiful. So then all we're going to do is put in the palm of your hand. I'm just going to tuck the outside into the centre, and then just, you see what I'm doing, I'm just bringing it back. Into a beautiful ball. So I'm going to take some semolina. So the recipe for this is all going to be down below. Sprinkle that into your tub or your tray, whatever you're using. It's going to make it easier to get these balls out when they're ready. So again, just tuck the outside into the centre, and then with your palm you're pushing and dragging back with your fingers to get that perfect ball. So when you want to use the frozen ones, you just want to bring them out of the freezer the day before and pop them in the fridge. And then when you're ready to use them the next day, just let them sit out for about an hour, and then you should be ready to go. Okie dokie. So I'm just going to a little bit of semolina on the top. I'm going to take my lid. Okay, so we're just going to pop the lid on there, and we're going to leave these outside again to prove for another hour. once they've brewed for another hour, we're going to pop them in the fridge to start the fermenting process for 24 hours. Believe me, it's going to be worth the wait. Alrighty, so we've had this dough in the oven for 24, sorry, in the oven. We've had this dough in the fridge now for 24 hours. So what I've done is I've brought it out about an hour and a half ago, just let it sit at room temperature, and it just comes back to life. It's just beautifully soft, a little bit sticky. That's exactly how it should be. Okay, so what we're going to do, so first of all, preheat your oven to max temperature. And what I've done is the tray that goes inside your oven, the one that fits your oven, I've just turned it upside down, and that's going to be where I'm going to bake the pizza on top of. But you need to preheat your oven to maximum temperature. It just needs to be steaming hot. Okay, so next we're going to grab a load of semolina. Don't be shy with the semolina. Dump a load of that on your bench. Okay. And then just, you want to be careful when getting these out because you don't want to lose all the air in them. Just cut them apart. A little bit of semolina on the bottom. And just scoop your dough out. Okay, just like that. And sprinkle a little bit of semolina on top. Okay. And we're just working on pushing that air, all that air, to the outside, which is going to give us our nice crust. And I'm just going to work around it, start stretching. Don't touch the centre just yet, don't touch the outsides. See these lovely air bubbles we're getting? Okay, once we go to that stage, I'm going to take it in my hand and just from one hand to the other, just turning the dough. Stretch it out. That's looking almost there. Okay, so we've got a little bit of semolina onto a board. Work it a little bit more just to get it to almost the size of my board. Just like that. Put it on your board. Beautiful. So you can put whatever you want on your pizza. I'm going to make a capricciosa today. So I'm going to take a bit of a tomato sauce. I've just bought an Italian pizza sauce, which is just crushed tomatoes and oregano. Into it. I'm going to pop that on the pizza. Just work that round with a ladle. Don't go right to the edges because you want that crust to be free of the sauce. Like that. And I'm doing a twist on the capricciosa. Usually it has ham, artichokes, olives and mozzarella. But I'm using a porchetta. Which I've just bought from my local deli, which is a beautiful roast herby pork. I'll pop some of that on there. Straight up. Nice and chunky. I'm going to pop a little bit of fresh oregano. There. Some artichokes. I've just got the marinated artichokes from a jar, it's fine for this. some black olives, just break them into halves. And some mozzarella. I've just got the bocconcini, which is fine. If you want to really go that extra step, go and buy yourself some buffalo mozzarella. We'll give it a little bit of salt. And just a little drizzle of olive oil. Beautiful. Right, so I'm going to pop that in the oven for about approximately 4 minutes. Okay. Make sure it moves on your board so it's not going to stick. The oven for about 4 minutes. Halfway through I just turned it around just because it's my oven. My oven's a bit hotter at the back than it is at the front. So I gave it a bit of a spin. Just depends on your oven. Better if you don't touch it. So whoopsie. So as you can see, I've got my tray the oven tray just upside down in there. And would you have a look out there? So you can stretch the dough as much as you like. I've gone for the Napolitana style pizza here, where it's quite a thick crust. If you want to make a thinner crust or a larger pizza, just keep stretching your dough. The crunch, that's exactly what you want. There we go. A beautiful Napolitana pizza. From home, full of flavour.